Welcome back to the channel. So after 3 weeks, this video will provide an update of what I've been up to and progressing my rehab and return to running from a hip injury. So a quick background of the injury. I've been experiencing a little bit of pain over the last couple of years in my hip region. I felt it was getting worse in January. Took the whole of February off pretty much. 4 weeks of no running. Thought that rest might improve it, but found out with going to physio at the start of March that it was more of a tendinopathy injury, which needs loading to return to running. So the rest actually didn't do it any good, and the loading gradually is what I need to return to running. So with a sort of spring calendar in place of Ashby 20 in March and a marathon in April, I wanted to add that to my rehab, which looking back with hindsight was not really the right thing to do. Should have focused on my recovery solely. I'm not worried about trying to build up a bit of distance to complete these runs. So I did end up doing the Ashby 20. I got around 20 miles, but unfortunately on the week of Manchester Marathon, so it's about 3 weeks ago now, I had to pull out. Physio said it wasn't a great idea to do, and I agreed. I didn't think there was anything to gain from running a marathon, but realistically I'd probably be about 30 minutes behind my PB anyway, so it was kind of just running for the sake of it rather than going for any kind of time goals. So the whole period has been quite hard to manage and quite frustrating for me, that every time I've sort of tried to build up that running again, build up the mileage, not even really tried to introduce any quick running back in there, but I probably increased my volume a bit too quick with the marathon and Ashby 20 in mind. So this time round I'm taking a more patient, gradual approach. I've not got any races entered, so the priority really is just to make sure that that pain goes away in my hip, which is still there, but I feel like there's been some progress over the last couple of weeks or so. So that progress has mainly come out of my physio sessions, and I've had 2 since the last video. So where I've made that progress is in the range of motion in my hip. So it's my right hip with the injury, and I had very limited hip flexion, so where you're raising your hip and your knee at the start of your running stride. I was very limited in this, very sort of awkward moving around, sitting down, moving my legs at all. But after a bit of treatment, a bit of sort of massage and some work from the physio, I definitely noticed an improvement at the second session, along with doing some stretching on this, that I was able to get deep into my hip and stop that kind of pinch. So although the sort of pinch is still there in a pain sense, it's not really there, it's not limiting my movement. So in one way that's good, I've got my movement back a little bit more, but I just need to be patient to see that pain will go away, which will then allow me to get back to a bit more serious running. And that everything else has probably been dominated the last few weeks, probably of this year really, by a bit of cross training instead of cycling and running. And especially this time of year, I've always loved getting out on my bike, but it's something that I've not really had much time or chance to do with always sort of training running wise. It's been time that, yeah, I've only really gone out on the bike when it's sort of a red hot day and I wouldn't be running anyway. So you know, to put a bit more effort into that, get out into the Peak District, get out on some hills. And the same with the swimming too. I've been doing quite a lot, but it's probably averaged about 3 swims a week, so that's way more than I've ever done sort of in my adult life. Probably used to swim 3 or 4 times a week as a kid, up until about 16. So it's nice to get back to that. I enjoy being in the pool, and I think doing this as well, I've been noticing that on a period where I'm not running, I've been able to maintain my fitness through the cross training. So I'm hoping that when I go back to running, I'll be fit, I'll be sort of have the endurance there ready to go, and hopefully I'll be a little bit lighter, so it'll be a bit easier on my joints and will lead to a few less injuries. So I appreciate these vlogs might sound like a bit of a broken record at the moment. It tends to just be physio, rehab, building back to running, and then in a bit of a vicious circle that I build up a bit too much and then I'm back with a few setbacks. So it is a bit more positive. The physio did say that maybe only a couple of sessions more are needed before I'll really starting to notice the pain go away. So that's really encouraging, because it's been, since the start of March now, it's been quite a frustrating period. And I think one of the things that I've done well in this period is to, I don't know, get out of that trap of just thinking about running and thinking about, oh, when am I going to get back, and just almost come away from it and think, well, if I was running, what would I be missing out on? If I've got to do my Sunday long run, if I've got to be running every day, I've got to be thinking about recovery, sleep, and fitting it all in alongside work. So it's been a good time I got away over bank holiday weekend, went to Tirana, the capital of Albania, had a good time there, with a bit of hiking, being a tourist too, and seeing some new places. So it's been, yeah, one of the areas that I've done pretty well this time with the injury. I've been able to spend more time on the coaching, so we're up to 50 sessions now of my weekly session that I do on a Thursday, so that's going really well. And to see at that spring marathon period, athletes that I coach do pretty well. So I had good success with Sam Bowring, who we mentioned previously on the channel, and he's trained with us on a few of the videos. He'd improved from a 257 down to a 248 at Manchester. So it's good to celebrate the success of friends and athletes that you coach, and to see Robbie do pretty well as well. So you'll be familiar with Robbie on the channel, and he's improved his marathon time from 253 down to 245 at Boston. So I think the message to anyone else going through similar frustrations with an injury is, what worked well was to just forget about my own running for a bit and think what you normally sacrifice when you are training, and then enjoy that at this time. So that's what's gone really well. So thank you for watching and listening to me ramble about my injury. Hope that's given you a bit of an update on when are we back, and if you're going through something similar, it's giving you something to relate to. So I'll see you in the next video. Not sure when it'll be, but when there's an appropriate time to come out with another video, I'll be sure to drop it on the channel.